21st meeting of the Transportation Committee now comes to order. Madam Clerk, could you please call roll?
Mr. Ansello? Here. Mr. Barker? Here. Mr. Carbone? Here. Chairman Colby?
Here.
Mr. Gamble? Here. Mr. Patterson? Here. Mrs. Valerio? Here.
Is there anyone signed up for public forum?
There is not.
Is there anyone present at this time that would like to address this committee? There not being anybody to address this committee, the next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. You have the April 23rd minutes of the Transportation Committee before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. We have Paul Johnson, the Associate Planner from the Planning Department, to give us an overview of the 2014-2019 capital improvement program as it pertains to the Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Everyone should have a copy of the program as recommended by the County Executive. This also comes to the Legislature with the recommendation of the Monroe County Planning Board, which reviewed it, and they held one public information meeting during their review to get public comments. As I mentioned, every year there are no funding approvals associated with your action on this 6-year program. It is a plan for our capital improvements. The first funding opportunity will come when the capital budget is presented along with the operating budget in the fall, and that will present funding proposals for the projects that are contained in the 2014 year of this 6-year program. For the committee's purposes, I want to touch on just 2 program areas. The first one would be highways and bridges, which you would find on page 46 of the document. Overall, the program funding levels for highways and bridges are virtually the same as our adopted program. There have been some shifts in the source of those funds. County funding is up almost 3%. State funding is down a little over 9%, and federal funding is down about 7.5%. So we're seeing some changes, obviously, in the source of funds for our highway and bridge projects. The funding, likewise, has been modified in a number of projects because of revised estimates for those, a slight change in the scope of the project, as well as updated federal and state aid dollars that we receive through the Genesee Transportation Council's Transportation Improvement Program. A couple of scheduling changes. The Whitney Road and Taylor Road bridge projects have both been moved out 1 year in the program, and one project, the Bowerman Road Bridge, has actually advanced 1 year. There are 2 new projects, Lake Road from Bay Road to Holt Road, and in the city of Rochester, Genesee Street from Genesee Park Boulevard to Brooks Avenue. The other section of the program would be the traffic engineering program, which you'll find on page 54. Overall funding is down about 7.2% from last year's program for our traffic engineering effort, and there are reduced funding levels for traffic engineering project and the Regional Traffic Operations Center Rehabilitation Project. And with that, Mr. Chairman, we'd be happy to take questions when you get to this item on your agenda.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. The next item is new business, Madam Chairman, or Madam Clerk.
Referral 13-153.
Moved by Dr. Carbone, second by Ansello. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-163.
Moved by Mr. Ansello, second by Mary Valerio. Any questions? Legislator Patterson.
Through the chair, what is the county contribution on the increased funding for this project?
Tim Freeler, through the chair. The county contribution is 2.5%.
I'm sorry. Through the chair, Tim Freeler, Associate Engineer with DOT. The county's contribution on this is 2.5%.
Okay. Thank you. Through the chair, and what would that equate to in dollars?
2.5% of 330,000 is about 7,000.
Thank you. Through the chair, where exactly is this curve located at on Huffer Road?
Through the chair, it is on Huffer Road at the eastern end. It makes almost a 90-degree turn and goes northerly a short distance to the parkway.
Okay, great. And through the chair, could you just tell us a little bit more about this project, how it works?
Through the chair, we have identified this has been a high accident location in the county, and we have put that forward for this project. There's been many accidents, most of which have been severe with runoff of the road, and we do not have any scope identified of what we're actually going to build, but we're going to hire a consultant to identify some of the alternatives which may address this, the accidents and the severity thereof, and proceed with a construction project based on the outcome of that design.
Through the chair, we have another referral in here later on that is dealing with, sounds like effectively, this high accident location program, 166. Are these two projects in any way, shape, or form related?
Through the chair, I'm going to defer this to my colleague.
Through the chair, this is Jim Pond. There's no direct relationship between these programs. The Huff Road curve, to my knowledge, was not identified through the high accident location program, but rather through complaints from citizens about several fatal accidents that occurred at the curve.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Referral 13-164.
Moved by Mary Valerio, second by Legislator Barker. Any questions? Legislator Barker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To the administration, approximately how many signs are slated to be replaced through the chair?
Through the chair, I believe this includes 350 advisory speed signs, 750 new warning signs, and the removal of 20 signs. So, based on a study that was done inventorying all the existing signage on county and city streets. Yes.
Legislator Patterson, you had a question? Okay. All those in favor, any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, madam.
Referral 13-165.
Moved by Legislator Barker, second by Dr. Cabone. Any questions? Legislator Patterson.
Through the chair, is there a county contribution to this increase?
Through the chair, no, there is not. It's a 100% reimbursement.
Okay. And through the chair, could you explain the program a little bit?
Through the chair, the CHIPS program is legislated through the New York State DOT, and amounts are set as part of the New York State budget. There's a formula which distributes that money to municipalities, towns, villages, and counties. That money is then used for transportation purposes. There's a list of applicable projects that can be applied to. We use it 100% on our highway program, and the expenses are then seeking reimbursement through the state. So whatever we get from the state, we spend it all on our roads and get reimbursed as well.
Okay. Through the chair, is there currently a plan on how these funds will be used?
Through the chair, yes, there is. The amount was included in our program that was rolled out to the towns and utilities back in early April. We identified a few projects that didn't meet the cut, so to speak, with the original funding. We changed the scope slightly on a few, and overall incorporated this into our current highway maintenance program that's being rolled out right now.
Okay, thank you. Through the chair, is it possible that we could get a listing of the projects that these funding will be used on?
Through the chair, a listing of all the county maintenance projects, or just the ones that are being used for the additional increase?
Well, it'd probably be great to get both.
I could give you both,
Okay,
yes.
great, thank you.
Okay,
Yep.
just want to be clear.
Okay, thank you.
I think you already had them once, but we'll give them to you again. All those, any other questions? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Referral 13-166.
Moved by Dr. Cabone, second by Legislator Anicello. Any questions? Legislator Barker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to the administration, and I might have heard this when when Legislator Patterson asked about this referral earlier, but I'm not sure if I retained it, being 50 years old now and all. I also
Older
don't
than.
remember, I'm 50 now. Is this the first time we've received this grant? Because I don't remember voting on this in the past.
Through the chair, Jim Pond, Monroe County DOT. No, this is a grant that we have been getting annually for many years. It's an ongoing program. Unfortunately, it will not have an end because people continue to get in accidents, but it is a repeat program that we continue to do as long as we continue to have high accident locations.
Thank you. Through the chair, can you explain, once the list of locations is identified, what will happen? Will there be more signs, reduced speeds? How will that process happen? And what are some of the types of recommendations? Through the chair.
Through the chair. Each location selected for study will be studied individually. The type of recommendations coming out of the study will depend on what we find. Some of them may have no recommendations at all if we do not find a pattern of accidents. Others could find a deficiency that's related to safety, and that would lead to improvements that are designed to mitigate those particular problems that were found. So the solutions are varied from do nothing to possible reconstruction if there was a severe problem found.
Thank you.
Legislator Patterson.
How many locations currently meet the critical rate definition?
Through the chair, I do not have that number handy. I can get it to you.
Okay, thanks. That'd be wonderful. And it's funny, that leads right into the next, through the chair, that leads right into the next question. Can we have a list of those locations so we know where not to drive?
Through the chair, certainly.
Thank you. And is it possible that maybe that list could be posted on the county website somewhere? Through the chair.
I don't know.
Okay. Through the chair, we don't do that currently. We can take it under consideration. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Referral 13-167.
Moved by Legislator Anicello, second by Legislator Valerio. Any questions? Legislator Patterson.
Thank you. Through the chair, could you explain the program?
Okay. Through the chair, the City of Rochester is putting in some devices in the Port of Rochester area that will help with traffic flow and security in the area, including traffic cameras, dynamic message signs, some parking-related signs for helping people find parking areas that are full or not full. The county's portion is relatively small. We're involved with some cameras and some workstations associated with those cameras that will be furnished through the funded project to the City of Rochester and to RGRTA.
Through the chair, relatively small. How small is relatively small?
Through the chair, the county's net cost is zero. It's federally funded. I don't know the breakout for the items that are on the cameras. I'd rather not throw a number up in the air.
Through the chair, so this is one of those cases where we'll do the work and we'll get reimbursed 100%. Is that roughly it?
Through the chair, actually, the work is done by the Port of Rochester's project, by the city, and we will be assisting in putting some cameras on the workstation once it's done. So we're actually not doing any work other than technical assistance and a little maintenance that we'll be reimbursed for after the project is completed.
Thank you.
Legislator Parker?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, which police agencies will have access to these cameras?
Through the chair, there's no direct police monitoring of these cameras.
And Border Patrol, Coast Guard also no access to that?
Through the chair, no, they're a closed system being monitored by the city, RGRTA, and Monroe County.
Okay, thank you.
Legislator Gamble?
Thank you, Chair. Through the chair, you said that we'll be providing technical assistance on this project, and you said cameras. Do you know who will be providing, which developer or contractor will be providing these cameras?
Through the chair, it's a competitively bid project, so I don't know who's going to get awarded the work.
Through the chair, have the RFP went out for bids for this work?
Through the chair, I believe so. The city is running the process, but I believe they have it out to bid right now.
Through the chair, is it possible we can get a list of the bidders?
Through the chair, yes.
Thank you very much.
I noticed in this referral, just to make sure it's accurate, we're receiving a 100% reimbursement grant from the Federal Highway Administration, so there is no county funding, to answer your question more. Is that accurate, the way it's been written?
Through the chair, yes.
Thank you. All those in, any other questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Is there any unfinished business to come before this committee? There is none unfinished business. The May 21st meeting of the Transportation Committee now stands adjourned. The next meeting for the Transportation Committee is scheduled for June 29th. Thank you.